I want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
There's a million toys at Toys R Us that I can play with.
Ho, 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 more games, more toys. Oh, boy! I want to be a Toys R Us kid.
What is it?
It's time to go back. Welcome.
Hey there, welcome back and happy holidays. It's Generation S, a podcast about growing up in the 90s and the early 2000s. And you know what? It's for people who grew up in the 90s and early 2000s. I don't know if I ever say that, but it's true because this podcast is for you. And in fact, I'll say this. If some of the toys that we're going to read off on a list today you had from your childhood and gave up and potentially cost yourself thousands of dollars, this podcast is for you. I'm Dan Kemp, and today joined by Generation S first ballot Hall of Famer, none other than Lou Carnivale.
It's funny, as we're recording this, I am in our recording studio, which is the guest room, and I could see my wife's My Little Ponies and Care Bears and Rainbow Bright all staring at me.
Yeah.
That she just picked up from an estate sale. It's a great feeling when you go out to get something you collect, and not only do you find it, but you find it and the person doesn't know what they have. Like, how much of that $5? I'll take all of them. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Does that I feel like that doesn't happen as much these days because people are getting wise. Like, I'll look on like the Facebook marketplace where usually you used to be able to get pretty cheap stuff, and now people are like, no, I know what this is worth. Like they're like overcharging on
all
some
depends.
Stuff now.
Collectible stores,
yeah,
you got to find, in my experience with collectible stores, upstate New York, downstate New York, Metro New York City, you got to find what the niche is. So if you go, like, I've gone to collectible stores, and maybe I've mentioned this before, got one of the collectible stores I've gone to in Long Island, guy's all about Star Trek and Star Wars. That's his main thing. He had Turbo Megazord from Power Rangers, but they were individual cars. He didn't know what he had. So that together, it's probably about 50, 60, $70. Like, how much for the cars? Geez, I don't know what Transformers they are. $5 a piece. Great, I'll take them for $20. He didn't know what he had.
Okay.
But he gets something Star Wars or Star Trek, he's going to know exactly what it is. I went to an estate sale, and that's where you're really going to get this stuff. It's for the most part, not trying to be Debbie Downer, it's older folks that are moving out or have unfortunately passed away, and they're just, take the boxes, here you go. And it's up to the people that are running the estate sales to price it properly, and sometimes they don't know what to even look up. Sometimes, I would say 8 out of 10 times I'm getting it lower than I should be. There are a few exceptions. I'm like, it's not that much money, but it all depends on where you go.
Yeah. Well, listen, that's a pretty good segue then. So last week we talked all about action figures, which for you and I was like a bulk of our childhood when it comes to just toys we got as kids and played with. Like that was what we did, right? And so this week I thought it'd be fun. I was debating on doing this last week, but I feel like we had such a good conversation going that it really wouldn't have made sense to do a big segue into an entirely another different long conversation. Mm-hmm. I thought this was worth its own episode. So I found an article that was posted. Granted, it was posted back in 2021 on the website 137pm.com by a guy named Eric Gonzalez. So I just want you to know, this is not my list. I found it and I thought, I'd love to talk about these, but I did not curate this list, so I'm not taking credit for it. Eric Gonzalez gets all the credit in the world.
Thank you, Eric.
But it was 25. Yes, thank you, Eric. It was 25 of the most valuable toys from the 1990s. So I'm going to kind of go through them all, and we may talk a lot about them. We may talk just a little bit if we didn't have them, whatever. I just want to kind of see where this leads us. It's the last podcast before Christmas, and it's all about toys.
I wish we had a sound button we could hit crickets. Like, it's a toy named XYZ. The hell is that?
Listen, don't give me... I was going to say, I could add in cricket sounds, but if there's too many of those, man, I'd be here forever adding those in post-production. All right, well, then let's get started here. The first one should not be a mystery to either of us. We know the line. It's coming from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, okay? I'm going to tell you the toy. We're going to talk about the toy, and then at the end, I'll tell you how much it sold for back, when it was sold.
Oh, when it was...
Or not No, like I'll tell you how much it went for back in the day. I'll tell you how much one of them sold for recently.
Oh, okay, that's what I was going to ask for. So the actual retail price is or was this,
Yes,
and then it's sold on eBay for this amount.
Exactly.
Cool.
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
So coming from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at number 25, this is from 1995. This was the Warrior Chrome Dome.
Oh.
Do you remember Chrome Dome?
I do remember Chrome Dome, yes.
He looked kind of like Shredder, but like a robot. I always mixed him up with Shredder because he looked, and I think that was the point. It was he's supposed to be like a giant robotic version of Shredder.
Yep.
But it's not just any old Chrome Dome. You could have a Chrome Dome that's worth maybe $10, right? This is a very special version that had a gold coin accessory. Okay.
Okay.
It's like literally, if you look at it, and I'm looking at the picture of it, it's like a gold, just like a collectible coin in the package.
I see it.
Okay. Originally this retailed for $3.99. Okay. This sold in 2021 for $660 in the package.
Nice. So was it a mail away, or was it just a rare figure that wasn't really produced that well?
I don't know. I think it's a rare variant. I'm guessing. I don't see anything here. Now, I'm going through the list. It doesn't say anything about it being a mail away, so I don't think it is, because it looks to just be, it's in the blister packaging. It's designed to be hung on a store shelf. I think this was just a variant that was not as common.
Yep.
So
that's what I see.
And that happened a lot back in the day. You know what I mean? It was you're not looking at the same list as I am, are you?
No, I'm looking at the actual figure itself.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I don't want to. I want you.
No, I have not. I have not looked at the list. It's just as you tell me, I bring it up. It's funny.
Perfect.
If we get to a certain type of toy, I had a variant from back in the day. I didn't know it was a variant until about 2 years ago, and I'm like, ooh, interesting.
Oh,
but
wow.
it was open and played with.
Well, and it's funny because you mentioned that. Apparently, the loose versions of this figure with scarcity sell for over $400 a piece, as long as you have all the accessories. So even loose, this one still fetches a pretty penny if you're listening to this and you have one. So
I don't have this.
I think it's the gold coin that really does it, and it's also like blue. I remember him being silver. This is like a blue color with like yellow eyes. But I don't remember that being the main color for that figure. Anyway, all right, number 24, continuing with Ninja Turtles here. I feel like there's a few of these on here.
Okay.
From 1994, the action figure, his name is Shogun Shote. Does that ring a bell to you at all?
I mean, Shogun
Shote. He looks like basically like a ninja master dinosaur.
Let me see here.
I don't know what a shote is. A shote type of lizard, maybe? I don't know.
Okay, I see him. Yep. No, I have no idea who that is.
So I don't either. I never owned him, but I will say that this figure, it retailed for $3.99. Once again, just like the old Chrome Dome there. However, because this one is so scarce, there are no recent, as per this article in 2021, there were no recent sealed, issues of this figure sold. There were loose only, unsealed. It went for $748. Loose. So if you have the Shogun Shote action figure loose with his 3 accessories, this one also apparently had the trading card cut out from the packaging, so maybe that's why it went for $748.
Maybe.
But either way, sitting pretty if you got something there.
He has like a big battle axe in the photo I see.
It's got a battle axe. It's got a couple of swords. Yeah.
All right.
It's pretty cool. Actually, pretty cool looking, to be honest with you. It reminds me of almost like something you would have seen on like Street Sharks.
Oh, I see him. Yeah, I see the box art. Shogun Ninja.
Yep.
Yeah, I've never seen him before.
I remember they had the Shogun series that had come out, but I think by then, honestly, for 94, I wasn't collecting turtle toys as much because I was into Power Rangers at that point. But anyway, either way, pretty cool looking figure.
Yeah, it is.
All right, next one up on the list. Oh, sorry, did you have something else?
No, I was same thing. 94, I wasn't into Power Rangers. I mean, I was into Power Rangers, not TMNT anymore.
Well, the next handful of toys on this list you're gonna love. I'll say that.
Get out of here, really? Let's see what we got.
It's for real, yeah. 23.
All right.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Okay. From 1995, we have Serpentera.
Yeah, that's expensive. Yep.
Now, unfortunately, I do not have the initial selling price for that. I got to imagine, because I actually bought some of the Zords back when this would have come out. I think I probably paid $40 or $50. So I'm going to imagine it was probably somewhere around there.
It was probably a little bit more because he was bigger.
Because it's bigger.
So I would say if your Megazord was going for $50, Serpentera was probably $70.
Okay, because it was huge, and it turned into attack mode where you could actually stand it up. Apparently,
Yeah.
So that was that was Lord Zed's Zord, which is pretty dope.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's see, top selling price, and again, I don't know when it was sold at this price, but $1,200.
That has to be in the box.
Yeah. No, it looks like it is in the box. So in the box.
Yeah.
$1,200.
I could see that.
Did you ever have a Serpentera?
I did not, but our friend Dan Vorbeck, who's been on a couple episodes with us, has a Serpentera, not sealed, but he has one.
Not sealed.
Yeah, and he got it off eBay.
I was going to say it still might be worth something, but if you got it off eBay not too long ago, then
at this point, I would say 10 years ago.
Okay, so maybe. I mean, especially with Mighty Morphin really kind of, for 30 years later.
Yeah.
That's that magic number, man. 30 years and things are popular and valuable again. All right, number 22 on the list here from 1993, WWF. Okay, the King of the Ring wrestling ring yellow variant.
Yeah, not surprised by that. Never seen it before. I had that ring, the blue version of it, but I didn't have the yellow one.
The blue one, everyone had the blue one. I feel like that was before the Attitude Era. The blue wrestling ring was like what you had as a kid. So the yellow variant originally sold for $13 when it was released in 1993. At auction, it went for $1,325.
Jeez. That's to Zack Ryder.
$1,325. Probably Zack Ryder. Yes. But anyway, it looks to be in the box as well, so I think that probably made a difference as well. Okay, here we go. Number 21 from 1994. Once again, the WWF 1-2-3 Kid action figure.
Green card.
Green card.
See, know my stuff.
Is that a variant?
No, it was. Yeah. Those were the last of the Hasbros, and they were not really widely released.
Got it. Okay, so they didn't make as many, or they didn't sell as so okay. So back in the day, it sold for at retail $7, $6.99 in 1994. This particular one went sealed and sold for $1,550.
I want to take back my statement. They're not sold to Zack Ryder because Zack Ryder opens his wrestling figures, so it's probably sold to Kurt Hawkins, who opens them. Does not open them.
See, there you go.
He does not.
Does not open. Yeah, that's right. He seals them. Now, apparently, 1-2-3 Kid was worth about $600 back a couple of years ago, but due to heavy demand among collectors, the value has skyrocketed. With apparently, you can get this particular figure sold loose is still valued at over $400 sometimes.
It's a very hard figure, and fun fact, it's the mold that it's also a very rare mold that they used for the Hasbro figures. He's got he looks like he's kind of like flexing his muscles. There's only 3 figures that have that design or that mold. The first was Rick Rude, which is actually I think one of the original Hasbro series that was made. The other one, other than 1-2-3 Kid and Rude, was Ric Flair. So they used Rude because Rude was, even though he was ripped, he was skinny. So
yes,
it makes sense.
Same thing. I mean, Flair was sort of
compared to other guys. So. While we're on the topic of Hasbros, is the variant that I have is a Shawn Michaels variant. Didn't know it as a kid. So when he became the Heartbreak Kid, they made him in his traditional white and red tights. I got a variant. I didn't know it at the time. Didn't know it till a couple years ago. There's a variant that I have, and he's in black and silver, and apparently that's worth like $50, $60 loose. Compared to the normal $20 that most Hasbros are that are loose, but mine was played with, so it's probably worth $20.
Right? Yeah. Oh, well, fair enough. Okay. All right. Number 20 on the list. Sticking with WWF, we have our first mail away figure.
Oh, can I take a guess?
Okay. Yeah.
It's the Undertaker in the coat, or it's the Red Hulk Hogan.
It is a Red Hulk Hogan with a red tank top and red pants, red tights. So who made did Hasbro make this?
Yeah,
Hasbro
made these, and it was exactly what you said. It was just a mail away, and a lot of people didn't do it. And if you did it, you opened it right away. It didn't come on a card. It came in just a clear package, I believe.
Yep, I'm looking at a picture of it right now. Clear plastic bag. So do you know how much that went for recently when it was sold?
Probably, I would say $1,800.
You're very close. $1,725. $1,725.
I know my Hasbros.
You're good, man.
That's when I walk into
You are good.
collectible
That was-
stores and I walk right past them. My wife goes, "You're not even looking at them?" I go, "Nope," because this guy knows the prices, and if he knows the prices, I ain't paying for them.
He knows what they're worth.
Yep.
All right. Number 19 on the list. Something I don't think you really ever played with as a kid, so you may not have much insight here. But this is a Lego set, actually, from 1990.
Mm-hmm.
It is the Lego Airport Shuttle.
I had Legos, but I literally just had Legos. I didn't have any sets
Just
or
random.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this looks like a pretty basic one. I'm looking at the picture, and it's like a track, like a monorail track with like a very basic-looking train car shuttle, basically. So it looks like a monorail type of deal. So I never owned this. I didn't even like Lego back then. I didn't get into Lego until I was a little bit older, actually. But anyway, there's no original sell price here. However, I can confirm per this article I'm reading that it sold at auction 2 years ago for $1,804. And if you couldn't tell, by the way, as I'm going down this list, like the values are going higher. So if we're only 6 into this and we're already at $1,800, just imagine how much we're going to be getting to when we get to the end.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
All right, coming in at number 18 from a trend in the early 90s with Lego, we moved to the late 90s with another trend that lasted, 2 or 3 years here with Furby.
Oh, boy. I had a Furby back in the day.
Yeah. Oh, you did? So I will say this, shout out to all the listeners who have asked me to do an episode on Furby. I don't know if I could do a full podcast episode all about Furby. Maybe
they can
one
get
with just
how about
late
a segment?
90s toys, but
they can get a segment.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. This is your Furby segment. So
yes.
it is our time to talk about Furby. So you had a Furby then. Where did you how did you get? I never had a Furby, so tell me about yours.
Tell me about your Furby. Is this the right podcast to talk about that? It was
let's
gray.
Talk about your Furby.
It was gray, and I played it for about a week, and I go, I don't like this anymore. But when I was moving over the summer, I found one. Apparently, I had in the box still because my dad was very keen on anything that was trendy, keep in the box. So hopefully, this is the one that you're about to tell me. The one that I have in the box is a KB exclusive, and she's dressed like the Statue of Liberty.
Unfortunately, that is not the Furby here on the list.
Of course not.
In fact, the Furby on the list, nobody really probably did have because this was the original prototype Furby baby.
Okay. Yep.
And not even any electronics in it, Lou. This was literally built for R&D purposes for Hasbro to then make future Furbies. Like that was literally all it was for. It was the design prototype. So, I mean, and we've, you've seen before like prototypes of action figures and things like that. Those things go for big bucks. So I almost feel like it's cheating that this is on this list. And I didn't make this list again. I want to reiterate.
Kind of is.
Because this is not like a toy you could have bought at a store. You know what I mean? But ultra rare, recently sold at auction for $2,025.
See, now that's something I can understand. Not that I would pay $2,000 for it, but it's a 101. That's it. It's the only one that exists. Or one of the very few that exist.
Yeah. So, like I said, I feel like that's cheating. You're likely not going to have that in your closet because there's a handful that were probably
unless
made,
you know somebody that worked for Hasbro.
Unless you know, so my uncle works for Hasbro. Like the uncle that works for Nintendo that everyone has.
Yes.
All right. Coming in at number 17, another trend that I don't think you ever got into because I don't think we've ever talked about it, but did you ever get into Pokemon?
Not real. No. I've bought a ton of Pokemon gifts for kids and the family the last couple of years, but not for myself.
No. And I will say, again, another topic that has been highly requested here on the show, and I promise you, dear listener, it's coming. I'm absolutely doing an episode just on Pokemon because it is big enough. It's huge. I mean, even to this day, it's huge. But this particular item, not even a toy, actually, but something you would have maybe owned from your childhood. It was a VHS of
really?
Pokemon, the Charizard movie VHS tape.
Okay. I know Charizard.
And, this particular one is graded at a level 9 by IGS. I don't know who IGS is. I'm assuming they're like a grading type of company or whatever that does evaluates. Anyway, so this was a grade 9, very good quality VHS tape. I couldn't tell you what it sold for at retail, but I can tell you right now that it sold at auction for $2,828.
Not surprising, considering what Logan Paul paid for a one-of-one Charizard card.
I thought it was Pikachu.
I thought it was Charizard.
Was it a Charizard?
Maybe.
How about Charizard? That wouldn't surprise me.
Let me rephrase that. Not surprising, considering what Logan Paul paid for a Pokemon one-of-one card. There you go.
Yep. There it is. Okay. So there you go. Pokemon VHS tape on the list there, selling for top dollar. As we move to number 16, and with that, we're back to the WWF here with another Hasbro action figure.
Is it a mail away?
We are talking 19. It is not a mail away.
Oh.
It is the 1990 Dusty Rhodes action figure.
I have Dusty, not in the package.
Well, I couldn't tell you what it is loose, but I can tell you right now. Originally, it sold for $6.99. Now, was there a variant? The one I'm looking at here is the polka dot wearing Dusty with the hand straight out. You know, does the Dustbuster move? Is that the one you have?
Yeah, I think there was the only one that was made. Well, do you want me to explain why it's rare before or after the price?
I mean, if you know why it's rare, please let's talk about it, and then we'll talk about what it sold for.
Because it was a very, very quick release. It was released, I believe, to promote SummerSlam that year, and Dusty left, I believe, right after that. And the rumor and innuendo is that Vince was really pissed that Dusty left, and then they pulled him off the shelf really quick. So it was released
hard to get a hold of.
It was released very, very quick.
Yep. All right. Well, in 2009, it looks like it sold at auction sealed for $3,500. Yeah.
I have two Hasbros in the package, and I'm hoping to hear one of them. That'd be great. Probably
we'll
not.
See. Hold on. We're moving on to number 15. We are still in the WWF realm here with number 15, and it is the other mail-away action figure you alluded to, The Undertaker.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see here. So, I mean, I don't know if there was variants here. This one in the picture is black coat with the gray gloves and gray boot covers.
Yep.
Okay. So, did you have this one, by the way?
No, I did have the original Undertaker, and that is one of the two Hasbros I have in the box. Not this one, because if I did, it'd be nice to put a down payment on a car for an action figure.
Well, you wouldn't have had it in the box. Obviously, you would have had it in a sealed plastic bag. But if you had it in a sealed plastic bag, there's a chance you could have sold it for $5,100.
Wow. I've seen it loose.
Crazy, man.
I've seen it loose.
Yeah.
Ironically, I've seen it loose at a collectibles store, and the guy, he knows his prices now, but back in the day, he didn't. I got a Jimmy Snuka sealed. Box was probably on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say a 5 for the card, so to speak. I got it for $50, and it was the first time. Like, if I can get my hands on one Hasbro figure that's not a jobber for a decent price, I'd be happy. So in my adult collecting, Jimmy Snuka on card was my first Hasbro purchase. And then I did get a French version of The Undertaker, Hasbro on card.
Oh, yeah. I remember you showed me that. I remember that. Yeah.
I got it for right before COVID for like $75-ish with shipping. I go, fine, done. Because I don't see, you go to a collectible store now and you see a Hasbro that's not, the head shrinkers. They're going to be over $80.
Yeah, they're gonna fetch a pretty penny. So there it is. All right, we move from the world of action figures into the world of video games with number 14 on the list here, and that is a sealed and highly graded PlayStation 1 console.
Really?
So, if you had a PS1 that was in great shape, this one looks to be graded at an 85, so pretty decent.
Yeah.
And this one sold. So back in the day, I think they sold for what was it, $200, $300 for a PS1?
I want to say $199 because I just watched a documentary about them getting screwed over by Nintendo, and their press conference to announce the PlayStation, I believe, was just Sony's president coming out and going $199. Like that was the entire.
I remember that. No, it was the Sega Saturn, and they were saying $399. This was $299.
$299.
That's what it was.
Okay.
So I think it was $300. So anyway, $300 is probably what you could get a PS1 for back in the day. This particular sealed box PlayStation 1 was sold at auction for $6,000.
Why though?
Why not? I mean, it's a video game console. If somebody had a sealed Nintendo Entertainment System, I guarantee you're probably fetching something pretty there.
It's probably on the list.
Well, we haven't gotten there yet, and we'll see. I do know that there are some other video games things on the list because I did peek through them, but for the most part, I haven't. So here we go. Number 13 on the list, bringing us back to the world of Ninja Turtles from 1993. We have Scratch the Cat.
I knew it.
I actually heard about this one. Yes,
Yep.
but it's only 13 on the list, Lou. Which means there's a lot more expensive toys coming.
So this is the cat with the jailbird,
like the jail outfit.
Yeah, the traditional
Correct.
like white and black stripes.
Yep. And so it was made in 1993, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see what it was sold for. I got to imagine probably somewhere between $4 and $5, like the rest of them that we've talked about.
Yep.
However, this one in the sealed in the packaging was sold at auction for $6,500.
Jeez. Wow.
Yeah.
Whew. Must be nice.
Beautiful. Yeah, it must be. All right. We're almost actually, this is the halfway point. So halfway through the list here, we finally come to something that I never really got into as a kid, but I'd be curious if you did, because I think we talked about it last week, but I don't remember. G.I. Joe. Did you ever talk G.I. Joe, or did you have
a little
G.I.
bit?
Joes?
Nothing significant, but yeah, I had a few here and there.
Okay. So here we go. We've got from 1997, it is a G.I. Joe Cobra Command Team Leopard paint variant of Destro. I don't know who Destro is. I'm sorry. He looks like he's a bad guy. Just looking at his picture. He literally is like wearing like a cool looking jacket outfit, and it's got like leopard print on it.
All right. I know G.I. Joe can go
this,
very big. I know the money is there for that.
Well, we're going to talk about that in a minute here. So apparently this figure, by the way, was an early print that had leopard print on the collar and legs. It was painted originally as a joke, and the designer loved it, so they released a few hundred, and a majority of them were never actually packaged for sale. So 100 copies were packaged and shipped to by accident in the United States, and a few even made it to the store. So this was never meant to be sold. So this is another one of those like the Furby prototype where like you probably never were going to get this, but in case you had one, it recently sold, and by recently again in the last couple of years, sold at auction for $6,801.
Well, this you could actually. There is a chance that you went out and got it though. The Furby is you had to know somebody.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's fair. All right. So at least there is a chance.
Yeah.
Okay. At number 11, back to video games here with a Game Boy Color console.
Sealed?
Graded.
Yep.
Sealed.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Sealed in the package. Game Boy. Yeah, come on. You think a regular Game Boy Color is going to go for anything?
Well, I was just saying, I meant to say sealed with like maybe a special game or something like that.
Oh, no. Yeah, this is no pack-in. It looks like it's literally just a sealed Game Boy Color. Now, did you ever have a Game Boy? I don't think we ever talked about that.
I had a,
same here.
I had a Game Boy Advance when they came out, but not,
you did?
Not a traditional Game Boy Color now.
Okay. So I believe they retailed back in the day for like $90-ish, and in the 90s. And I think this was, 95 or 96. I got to imagine this probably came out. Or 99, excuse me, Game Boy Color.
Oh, wow.
Is when Game Boy, I believe it was 99. Anyway, recently sold at auction for $8,999.99.
Wow.
So $9,000 for a sealed Game Boy Color, in case you have one in your closet somewhere.
Just go
this
check.
is the Kiwi Color variant, by the way, if that makes a difference.
Delicious.
Yes. All right, number 10 on the list here, and we're just cruising through with video games. We're sticking with Nintendo once again. This time, the Nintendo 64's GoldenEye 007.
Really? I do
sealed.
have a...
This is sealed and graded.
I do have a game in mind that's a Super Nintendo game that I think is going to be on the list.
Well, let's find out. Before we get there, let's talk GoldenEye. Remember, this one probably sold back in the day for somewhere between $50 and $60 because that's how much new Nintendo 64 games went for.
Yep.
And I love this game. Unfortunately, you were not on the Nintendo 64 episode I did, and I know you're pretty pissed about that, so I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But we'll get you back on for N64 because you played GoldenEye, right?
I did. Yeah, I played GoldenEye for sure, and I played on the Xbox One too.
Oh, that's right, because they had re-released it.
Yes,
that's
they did.
Right. I remember that. You know what's really fun is I have it on my Nintendo Switch because it came out with the Nintendo 64 library, and I played it with my brother-in-law and then a family friend, and they had never played before. So for the first time in my life, I was the best person playing a game of GoldenEye.
There you go.
And that's never happened before. I always got my ass kicked at old GoldenEye, so I felt really good about that. Anyway, so this game went graded at a grade 90, sealed in the package for $9,999.
That's
$10,000 for a sealed copy of GoldenEye.
And just think, this may have been a gift somebody got, put it like in a closet, and just forgot about it for years, or packed it away with their Christmas decorations by accident.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
So, all right, we got the next few are video. Spoiler alert: the next few are going to be video game related. Just going to tell you straight up. At number 9, 1998's Grand Theft Auto for the PlayStation 1. That's Grand Theft Auto 1, by the way.
Yeah, just Grand Theft Auto
1.
No number.
Just Grand Theft Auto. Yeah, with the old font. Now, did you ever play the old Grand Theft Auto games, like pre-3D?
Nope, never did. First one, just like probably 95% of the people in the world, it was GTA 3.
GTA 3. Exactly. Love GTA 3, by the way. Hard game for me. I mean, I can never beat it. But anyway, so this was the early top-down, like literally the whole goal was to steal cars, and that was basically it. Grand Theft Auto. Sealed, graded at a 9.6, A+, whatever they used to grade it. That's what they've got listed here. Yep. Sold at auction for $10,100.
You know, as crazy as it sounds, I could actually see that. I could.
Now, why could you see that?
Because how much GTA 3 changed the world. There are a few video games that have changed the world. Mario, obviously, Pong and Atari changed the world.
Yeah.
Super Mario Brothers changed the world. And Grand Theft Auto changed the world. Legitimately, I say changed the world. The way
that's fair.
The way video games were made, produced, marketed, played by, sold, pricing, reviewed, everything changed with GTA 3. So having the not so popular first version of it in your possession, I could see that. I could see that more than a sealed PlayStation system.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. Well, and that's why it's higher on the list. So there you go.
Yep.
All right, number 8 on the list. We are now talking Super Nintendo.
Okay, this might be it.
Do you want to guess the game?
You know, the thing is,
just tell you what it is?
The thing is, oh my God, what the hell was the name of the game?
Okay, that's not.
I can't remember. I can't remember. I know it's an RPG game.
You talking about Earthbound?
Yes.
Yeah, that's not on the list.
At all?
Not at all.
Really? I thought for certain it was on the list. Okay.
I mean, I know it's a rare thing, so it very well could go for big bucks, but it just didn't happen to make this particular top 25 list. No, we're talking Super Mario World.
Okay.
The most common game for the Super Nintendo, because it was a pack-in, sealed, graded at a 9.6 A double plus. So this game would have retailed back in the day if you didn't have it with your Super Nintendo for, I don't know, $60 or whatever. Mm-hmm. Now, question for you, because you had a Super Nintendo. Did you have the one that came with Super Mario World?
I did, yes.
Did it come in a box or no, because it was packed in with the system?
Well, unless you want me to go downstairs and get my high 8 VHS player. There's something old, kids, a high 8. Look it up. I don't remember. I'm going to say I don't think it came with the actual cartridge. Excuse me, with the actual box. I think the cartridge was probably in clear plastic and just in the box with the Super Nintendo. I don't think it came, literally. Yeah. I don't think it came in the same way like you would go to the store and buy it later on.
Well, so I'm looking at the box here, and this one looks to be a reissue of it because there's a big old badge on it that says Player's Choice Million Seller.
Yes.
So I'm guessing it was almost like a greatest hits or whatever
Mm-hmm.
they would have done for it. So anyway, it probably went for $60, maybe less, because if it was like a Player's Choice, maybe they were like the discounted games at that point, which is funny because you don't really see that with Nintendo games these days. But so at a graded 9.6, so very good condition, this game sold at auction for $12,999.
So this is just the game, right?
It's sealed. It's sealed in the box.
I meant those,
but
not
just the game, not the console.
Wow. Jeez.
Yeah, no console.
One of my favorite games of all time, also.
It's an amazing game. Yeah.
I want to go play some Super Nintendo while we're done tonight.
Yeah, you should.
Jeez.
You absolutely should. Okay, number 7, another video game. This time we're dipping into Sega Genesis territory. So the first, and I think only Sega game on here actually. I had a Sega. You had a Sega, right, Lou?
Towards the end of the cycle,
but you
yes.
got it a little later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say a little later on. Did you have sports games?
I played some, but I had NHL 94. Surprise.
Okay. So this game today, or the game we're talking about now on the list, is the original FIFA International Soccer video game.
Okay.
This is the first FIFA with no numbers.
Yep.
Okay. It came out in 1993. And now we're on FIFA 23. So obviously it's and it's made by EA Sports.
Yep.
This literally is the game that started the whole FIFA franchise. So I would say, much like Grand Theft Auto, this is another game that changed the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, as soccer is kind of hit and miss in the States, the appeal of it worldwide is undeniable. And,
it's massive.
Madden in the United States is the sports game. But
yes,
outside of the United States, it's FIFA and, man, I may even say NHL, because I don't know how many people are playing Madden football over in Switzerland. I don't think they are.
In baseball, maybe, but yeah, you're right. It's got to be probably hockey, and it's going to be
FIFA, and it's going to be NHL. Yep. Maybe even, yep, I would say maybe NBA also.
Yeah, that's true, because a lot of international basketball teams. That's a good point. So maybe NBA. Actually, NBA might be second, as like NBA 2K, those games.
Yep.
So anyway, so this game again probably sold for $50-$60 back in '93, 30 years ago, by the way, for those keeping score.
Gross.
Sold at auction, graded at a 9.2, looks to be sealed in the package, in mint condition for $15,100.
See, now that's another one I could see. As crazy as that sounds, because if you got some high-end sports collector, not even a video game enthusiast, so that there's two people that might be going after this game. The video game enthusiasts that wants it for their complete collection, and then just a FIFA or soccer fan, football fan, European football, in general might want it. So there's like two different markets that might be competing for this item. So that doesn't surprise me.
And this was one of those EA games, because do you remember EA Sega games had a very unique cartridge style with the yellow side?
There was an urban myth that if you took that yellow piece out and plugged it into a different game, that you could swap out the games. Was that true? Do you know that?
No, because I don't think you couldn't plug it into something else. It was like a piece of plastic built into it. I think it was just an aesthetic design.
Maybe. Huh. But I do remember that, yes.
I don't know. I remember, but it was always just EA Sports games always had that, which I thought was kind of cool, because you knew you were playing an EA game.
Absolutely.
It's kind of like how Coca-Cola bottles are shaped the way they are, so that if you're reaching into a cooler, you're pulling out a Coke product. Did you ever notice that? That's how you can tell if you're looking at like soda bottles on the shelf. Look at the shape of the bottle. All the Coca-Cola products had the same shape, and all the Pepsi bottles had the same shape.
Really? I never thought of that.
So you look at a Mountain Dew versus a Sprite, different bottle shapes, but you look at a Sprite and Coca-Cola, same bottle shape.
Hmm.
And I'm talking like the smaller ones, not like the 2-3 liters. Those are pretty universal. It's more like the single serves, Anyway, all right, number 6 in the list, still in the realm of video games here. This time we're talking Game Boy once again. We're talking Pokemon Blue.
I knew there was going to be a Pokemon version on this eventually.
Yes, and again, this was one of two that, again, started it all, right? Like this is what took off the craze in the U.S. was either Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Red. It's one or the other. And if you happen to have this one, you would have bought it in 1998. You would have paid $30 for it. Okay, this one sealed in the package, graded at a 9.6. $49,900.
We jumped up. We jumped a lot right there. So wait, what was FIFA?
FIFA sold for $15,000.
Oh, okay.
And next one on the list here, $49,900.
So we went from a Honda Civic to a Acura. Got it. In like one posting.
Yes.
Okay.
There it is. Yeah, basically.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is one that, again, maybe not sealed in the package, but people had this game. This was a common game. So if you happen to have a sealed one, check it out. Might be worth something.
Yeah.
Number 5 on the list. This is Dan Vorbeck territory we're talking here. Magic the Gathering. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. This is probably a specific card.
You never got into. You never. It is a specific card because you never got into Magic, right?
No, I just know some guy between Dan and some guys at work that play it. So I know there are some big cards.
All right. Well, get ready. This one is a Magic the Gathering Alpha Black Lotus card. Okay.
All right.
Which doesn't look to be doing anything special gameplay wise. Graded at a 9.5. or excuse me, a 7.5.
A
It wasn't even graded that high.
7.5. That's not.
According to this, one was sold at a 7.5. Okay. And was sold at auction for $76,210.
We're jumping 20 to 30 grand here. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
Yeah, it gets better, Lou.
Yeah, maybe I should have bought some. I bought the wrong cards. I bought sports cards that are worth jack squat.
Yeah, baseball cards peaked in the 90s.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll come back, but I doubt it. Okay, number 4 on the list. Okay, our first book on the list. All right,
book.
Harry. This is a book. Yeah, I mean, books are fun. Did you ever read the Harry Potter books?
No, the first one I read.
Not much of a read. Like, I mean, yeah,
the first one I did, but not all. I mean, not all.
Okay, well, this is the first one, but it's the British version because in England, now here in the U.S. we called it Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, but in England it was called Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
Okay.
And this was first released in 1997 in England, and it sold for $14. Okay, this is a first edition copy, hardcover. Now, at auction, one was recently sold. There was only 500 first editions released. Okay, just to kind of preface this. And this is some research that the author did. Again, Eric Rodriguez. Of the 500 copies, apparently 300 were sent into the library system, and so only 200 were sold.
Wow.
And so if you had a copy of this, you could have sold yours at auction for $81,250.
Jeez. I mean, I'm getting out of things to even say. It's just I'm just waiting for the 6 digits to hit.
We're gonna blow your mind here with the next one. You ready?
What number was that?
Okay, from 1992. That was number 4.
Okay,
so we're getting close to the end.
We're getting close. Yeah.
Okay. We're getting close. Number 3, we're back in the realm of video games here. And this one I actually had heard about on a podcast that I listened to. One of my favorite podcasts is called Remember the Game. It's a retro gaming podcast. I highly recommend it. He was actually discussing this because as he was recording episodes in 2020, this was a hot topic of discussion. So every episode he would have an update on this. This was the Nintendo PlayStation prototype.
Oh, okay. I'm not surprised by this.
Do you remember that whole discussion of like them supposing to work together? Yeah. So, okay. So for those who don't know, because it's funny, when we did our PlayStation episode, I think I wanted to talk about this and I had totally forgotten about it. But Nintendo and PlayStation, or Nintendo and Sony were like, hey, let's work together on a console. We're going to make a disc-based console. We're going to call it the PlayStation. And Sony was like, hell yeah, let's do it. And they were already, they made a prototype, which we're about to reveal the sell price for. And then Nintendo, for some reason or other, they said, you know what? Nah, we're going to go ahead and go with Philips and make a CDI. Such a good choice for them, by the way.
Oh, it was a great system.
Yeah, no, it was dog shit.
Yeah.
But
you didn't like Hotel Mario? That's like one of the Mario's greatest games of all time. Hotel Mario. Close the doors.
That's right. Yeah, pretty much. So, of course, again, this could be an item that changed the world, because if not for this, Sony would not have created the first PlayStation console and become, let's face it, the dominating video game franchise or system to this day. Like it's of the 5 top selling video game systems of all time, it's got 4 of the slots. Did you know that, by the way?
Say that one more time.
Out of the top 5 video game systems consoles of all time, selling wise, Sony PlayStation is 4 of them.
Oh, I'm not surprised at all. Not surprised.
Yeah. So had it not been for Nintendo essentially dicking over Sony, might not have ever happened.
Yeah.
They might have just had their own thing. And quite frankly, may not have even been as good for the industry, because there wouldn't have been as much competition. And maybe there would have eventually, but, wouldn't have been this.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm looking at a picture of it. It literally looks like the love child of a Super Nintendo and a PlayStation. It's
yellowed.
It's cool because it's yellowed, yeah, because it's old. Super Nintendo controller with a PlayStation logo on it. It's wild. So there's only one of these in the world. So you obviously would not have had this in your closet or gotten it for Christmas. So again, it's one of those, it's on the list, but should it be on the list? But it's insane. This thing sold in March of 2020 at auction, and I actually knew this before because of the podcast that I listened to, $360,000.
And the urban myth is somebody dumpster dove to get it.
That I didn't know.
That's the urban myth, is when it happened, somebody literally just threw it away. And somebody went in and got, and then I believe it was a couple of years ago, maybe 3-4 years ago, somebody said they had it and they booted it up with a prototype of a game in it, and supposedly it worked.
Yep. Oh, yeah. So $360,000. All right.
Wow.
Here we go.
All right. Something's going to beat that.
We're moving through it. Well, two more things are going to beat that.
That's
we got
insane.
two left. Okay. Yeah. All right. Here we go. Number 2, back to Pokemon. Okay.
Wow.
The base edition English version, first edition Charizard.
Is that the one that Logan Paul got?
I don't know if it's specifically the one that he bought, but this is the holographic Charizard that kids dreamed about back in the day. This was the holy grail of Pokemon cards if you were a kid in the late 90s.
I didn't know much. I still don't know much about Pokemon.
Yeah, this is a grade 10, by the way. This is like
so it's
perfectly mint.
Yeah.
Perfect. And I'm looking at a picture of it. It's in perfect condition. Sold at auction. Oh, by the way, packs of Pokemon cards in 1999 for a whole pack, which I think was 10 cards. $3 a pack, just to keep that in mind. Okay. This card went at auction for $390,000.
God bless people. And I want to know what you do.
Yep. Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
I talked about it.
We've made it.
Logan Paul set a record for his $5.25 million purchase of a rare Pikachu Illustrator card. One of 39 is given as prizes for illustration contest winners.
There it is. See, I knew it was a Pikachu card.
Yep.
I knew it.
Yep.
Because he wore it around his neck to WrestleMania, like in his WrestleMania match.
But that kind of goes with the Furby, where you couldn't purchase the card. It was a giveaway.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's, I mean, yeah, anything that's not purchasable in a store is obviously going to be even more valuable. However, number 1 on our list was in fact purchasable in a store.
All right, and it's from the 90s and 2000s, so it's not. It is not the missile fire Boba Fett that came out by accident.
It is not. I will in fact tell you the year that this item came out. If you would care to venture a guess.
Let's try.
It is 1996 that this was released.
Was this some like crazy rare Tickle Me Elmo or something?
Nope. I'll even go one further. This was a video game.
And what year?
Not a system.
96.
A video game from 1996.
Then what goes for over 300,000. So a game in 96 for over 300,000.
I will preface, this was a sealed. This was a sealed, highly 9.8 graded.
Well, that 9.8 also
package.
makes it pretty amazing. PlayStation?
Yep.
Or Nintendo?
Nintendo 64.
Is it? This is a wild guess. Is it a sealed copy of Clay Fighter 63 1/3 that was a Blockbuster exclusive?
No, it is not.
I mean, you hesitated for a split second. Like, oh my god, did I get it?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not. It was a good guess, though. No, this is a game that everyone owned, pretty much. If you had a Nintendo 64, Super Mario 64.
Get the hell out! What? See, because it's sealed.
A sealed 9.8 condition graded copy of Super Mario 64.
Okay.
And on July 11th of 2021, this was sold by the Heritage Auction House.
I remember reading this now. 600,000?
$1 million.
What?
$1,560,000.
Okay. Now I'm going to go in a soapbox. What the hell? I mean, see, there's a couple of things I could justify. The FIFA thing I could see. I really could. I could really see the FIFA thing. $1 million for a freaking video game. In this economy. God bless. And also, shame on you that that's what you're spending $1 million on. I mean.
Yeah. I mean.
To each their own, I guess. I shouldn't really say shame on you because I collect silly things, but $1 million for a video game is just asinine.
A video game that's quite frankly not very good, in my opinion.
No, I don't think it's good either.
I don't like. I don't. Okay, I don't hate Super Mario 64. There are worse platformers out there, but I don't love it. I think it's average at best, and there have certainly been better ones since then. You don't even like Mario platformers, do you? Like the 3D ones? Like that's not even
Mario needs to be 2 or 2.5. That's it. D. That's
yeah.
No, I don't like Mario.
Well, by the way,
that.
okay. So speaking of which, I do want to recommend here, totally off topic, but Super Mario Wonder for the Nintendo Switch is amazing, and you need to buy it. So that's all I'm going to say. Oh, that was a hell of a list. We went just to clarify, we went from $660 at number 25 to the halfway point where we were looking $6,500 ish, and wrapping up with a whopping $1.5 million item.
Wait, 1.5?
That $1,560,000.
Oh, yeah, I stand by my statement of what the hell you thinking. Add another $500,000 on there. I'm like, what the hell? You know, and here's the thing.
So
here's the thing that some people, and I do this, like Otani, the baseball player, just signed some. I couldn't even off the top of my head. I think he signed like a $700 million contract with the Dodgers or something like that. It's really is asinine. That takes talent to play a sport or to be an actor or something like that. This is just a video. Maybe it's Otani because he's Japanese, Nintendo. You know, maybe it was him. I don't know. But $1.5 million for a video game is just. But then again, if I had, you know, I couldn't even say a couple million in the bank. So I had a couple million in the bank. If I had a couple million, like $5 million in the bank, I'm not going to take out 1/5 of my savings for a video game.
Yeah, that you're never going to play. You're not going to open it, right? Because that's the whole point. Is
shelf.
Like, open, it's worth like $12. Yeah, it's going to literally be, it's a piece of art, and it's not even a very good looking piece of art. It's a cardboard box inside of a bigger plastic box.
Maybe it's not even Mario in there. Maybe it's another game. Maybe it's
we don't know. I mean, we'll never know unless there's some way to determine, you know, by scanning it, what's inside. We're not going to know.
That's insane.
Yep. So there's your holiday season, folks.
Merry Christmas trying to pay your bills. A guy bought a Mario game for $1.5 million.
That's right. Dude, I had a lot of fun doing this. I was worried because we've never really done like a list before. I mean, I guess last week we did like an article with different toys listed on it, but like this is the first time we've gone through a ranked list that neither you or I curated, and that was actually pretty cool. I like that. So shout out again. If you never listened, I mean, he may never listen to this. Eric Rodriguez of 137pm.com. Check out the article. I will link the article in the description of the podcast if you want to read it all for yourself and just have your mind blown by some of the shit people have paid money for over the years. So, man, good stuff. Well, listen, dude, this is the last, I'm going to tell our listeners, this is the last podcast we're doing for Generation S of 2023. We're taking next week off, Lou. I don't know if I told you that or not.
Oh, I have off. Thank you.
Week off, okay.
Am I getting off with pay or no?
I mean, pay is in, you know, like money, you mean?
Yeah. Don't I get sick in PTO and holiday pay?
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously,
I
don't know where you're going to get it from.
Oh.
I don't know where you're going to get it from, but you know, yeah.
Okay.
No, but I want to share this with you. This is a 1-year subscription to the Jelly of the Month Club. So I want you to have that.
It's a gift that keeps on giving the whole year. Thank you so much.
Yep. Hey, by the way, you know, I did start watching that movie the other night and I fell asleep. So I'm going to try to finish it now.
That's terrible. How could you fall asleep?
I started watching it like 10:30 at night. It was late and I was tired, and we're sitting on my couch. I had just gotten done, like, you know, exercising. Like I was conked out. So, but I will be watching it and finishing it because it is amazing. So, all right, man. Any closing thoughts on 2023 as far as the podcast or anything really?
I sold a black and gold Titanus Legacy Edition for $100 last week, and I thought I hit the jackpot. So,
absolutely,
yeah.
Take that. That's great. Yeah, suck it.
Yeah,
sellers. I don't know.
Closing the year of 2023. On the YouTube side of our stuff, we are at pretty close to 12,000 subscribers, which is insane. We're at like 5.1 million views, which is also insane. So thank you. Whatever platform you're listening to us on, thank you. We appreciate it.
Yes, my God, thank you so much. Whether it's on YouTube or just listening here on just your regular podcast platform to this show, which we haven't seen a ton of growth over the last few months. We saw a big spike, and then it's maintained consistency. But I tell you what, with the amount of listeners we have, like, God, if you guys could just hang out with us in a room and just listen to us do this, like, I would be overwhelmed with how many cool people are listening to us, or wondering what the hell's wrong with you, because why would you want to listen to us talk, or both, quite frankly, or both. And so thank you guys so much. I'm really excited. We got some big plans for 2024 for the podcast, for the YouTube channel. So stay tuned for all that. And hey, if you are looking for last minute Christmas gifts for people, make sure you check out the Generation S merch store. We got some great shirts on there and some great designs. So make sure you check that out. The link, of course, at the bottom of the episode description here on your podcast platform of choice. And at the very least, if you're not going to buy some merch, totally cool, totally get it. Tell a friend about the podcast. I say it all the time. Lou, you've told people about the podcast, right? I know you're spreading the word.
I met somebody online with a meet and greet of a Power Ranger, and they recognized we were talking Master Morpher, and I said I did a podcast about it, and the guy goes, were you the guy that said Billy built it? I go, you're just saying that to be nice. He's like, no, and he pulled up the video. If you watch the YouTube video already, you had like that red bar at the bottom, and it went all the way across, and I'm like, holy crap, the guy actually did watch it. So yeah, I spread the word, and I appreciate you folks listening.
Yes, it's kind of cool, right? When
it
people
is.
like listen that you don't know listen, you know what I mean? So anyway, guys, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, and I hope you had a good 2023. I can't wait to see you guys or talk to you guys in 2024. So with that, we'll talk to you soon.
Goodbye.